Welcome back to Scarlet and Maize. I'm Adam. This is Zack, recapping the first real week of Big Ten football and more than Big Ten, the entire country.
Yeah.
But first off, we're going to start with a recap of Ohio State, Minnesota. Zack, what were your takeaways?
Stroud looked a little shaky in the first half. He looked like a freshman quarterback. But my stat of the game that I just love is, including this game, Ohio State's trailed 3 times against Big Ten opponents under Ryan Day, and they have outscored those opponents 78-17, going 3-0 in those games. And Stroud he was near perfect in the second half. Well, yeah, he completed 4 or 5 passes in the second half. I think 5 passes in the second half, and 4 of them went for touchdowns.
That's wild.
And Travion Henderson looked amazing. He needs to see the field more.
Dang.
What was your takeaway of that game?
Well, I was watching the game with my newborn and my wife, and I kept scaring my newborn because I was shouting at PJ Fleck. Just a few things. So 4th and 2 from the 46, their second drive.
Yeah.
And they punt. Are you playing to win the game, or do you think you're equal with Ohio State playing field position? I shouted, "What are you doing?"
Well, then he must have heard you, because then later on they went for it. And
Exactly,
got the big run.
which they should have gone for it earlier too. But also, this blew my mind because it's something that Jim Harbaugh has gotten flack for in the past. But 32 seconds left in the half. Tanner Morgan gets sacked all the way back to their own 48. 32 seconds left. Ohio State doesn't call a time. They could have called a timeout right there to at least make Minnesota punt.
Yeah.
But they don't. And then Ohio State doesn't call a timeout. Minnesota should have called a timeout with 1 second left to throw a Hail Mary or to give it to the running back, something just to see what happens. Are you trying to win the game, or are you trying to stay even? I don't understand that. And then down 10 to start the fourth, Ibrahim, I forgot how you say the name. It's whatever.
Mo Ibrahim,
gets hurt, and with the backup running backs, they go run, field goal.
Wow.
The quarterback Tanner Morgan was doing okay.
Yeah.
Run, field goal.
Well,
I don't know what you're doing.
The one wide receiver was killing us. The transfer from Texas A&M, I can't think of his name right now. He was.
It might have made sense to down 10, try to cut it to 3.
Your star running back just got hurt. You got to have a big play.
Run the ball 3 times, kick a field goal, down 7, and then it was whatever.
I will say it was like, even in the moment when he was killing us, it was sad to see Ibrahim get hurt.
Yeah.
He was killing it. He would have been an all Big Ten player, and he's out for the season now.
Yeah. So on to Michigan versus Western Michigan. So last week I said, being a Michigan fan, there's this inevitable parasitic hope that I have, that it always happens no matter how hard I fight against it. I think Michigan's going to suck. Something happens, and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe this is going to happen. And that crept up. The inevitable parasitic hope crept up. They had the most yards in a game since 2016, which was really the last year they had a chance. That's a whole other topic. But losing Ronnie Bell hurts really bad for stability. Hopefully Dalen Baldwin, the transfer from Jackson State, steps up. He had a big catch this game, the one from J.J. McCarthy. There's some good receivers. They're just really unproven. It does suck that Ronnie Bell's hurt.
Yeah.
Cade McNamara is super stable. McCarthy's explosive, but the rumor is that he's like super explosive in practice, and then the next play he throws a mind-boggling interception.
Yeah.
Just super bad decision making. I'll take stable at this point.
Right.
But the defense, I'm like, is Michigan's defense okay? It seems like every time Michigan plays Western Michigan, the thing is, but Western Michigan can throw the ball. Is Michigan going to be able to keep up? And maybe that's just living in Lansing, dealing with some trolls. But Michigan only gave up 7 points before garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, not is Michigan's defense even good, but like, are they okay? Are they a step up from last year? It seems like it. We'll see. What was your takeaway from the Michigan game?
I think it's hard to have takeaways from a game against a team like Western, because they're a team that has been really good for a MAC team at times, but it's so inconsistent with the difference in talent. So, I mean, my only really takeaways is it sucks that Ronnie Bell is out. He's a great wide receiver. That one, he offense interfered, but that catch he had was incredible, just one-handed. on that play. And then the other one is how long can you keep McCaffrey's arm talent on the bench? McCarthy.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's so many quarterbacks that have come through Michigan lately.
McCarthy's, how can you keep his arm talent on the bench? Because that throw was incredible.
Yeah. Just an update on the standings. So Zack lost the game of the week. We'll get to that punishment later. But our picks through one real week, Zack is 6-4, and I am 9-1, including picking Texas San Antonio to win. So that's awesome for me. Just really quick, some Big Ten takeaways. I just have two. I just watched Wisconsin-Penn State and came away thinking either both of these teams are really good or both of these teams are really meh.
Yeah.
They're both okay. So we'll see as the year goes on.
It was a fun game to watch, though, even though it was a low-scoring game. It's funny because you get a different narrative. Because it's Georgia, Clemson is 10-3, and wow, Georgia's defense is incredible. They're so good, so good, so good. But then you get Wisconsin, Penn State, and people are like, oh, are they good or are they both just awful?
Right.
And it's just funny how we get a different narrative in a similar game.
That's fair. My other takeaway is that Iowa won big, but their quarterback play wasn't very solid. We talked Indiana maybe deserves some credit for having a good defense. I think this week is just going to be huge for Iowa. They play Iowa State in Ames. We'll see if Iowa is,
and we'll talk more about that
up to it. Yeah.
Later, yeah. That'll really show us whether Iowa's legit or not. I think we'll find out this week.
Yeah. What were your Big Ten takeaways?
I just thought this was awesome Rutgers looked really good, like I said, Shiano. I thought it was awesome. They have two brothers on the team, Bo Melton and Max Melton. One plays wide receiver, one plays defensive back. The wide receiver, Bo Melton, scored a touchdown. And then a minute later, the defensive back had a pick six for a touchdown. That was
cool.
So cool. The brothers playing on the same team, scoring touchdowns within a minute.
Cool moment for those parents, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Big Ten players of the week. So normally we're going to talk about if we agree with the official releases.
Yeah, the Big Ten player of the weeks.
This week's a little boring because we do, but Riley Moss won Defensive Player of the Week. 2 pick sixes. I believe what I heard was he's the 4th Big Ten player ever to have 2 pick sixes in one game. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And then offensive.
The offensive player of the week was Kenneth Walker III. I thought he looked super good. He was patient in the backfield, waiting for the holes to open up. And then when the hole opened up, he accelerated through them really, and he looked good running the ball. But it was the most touchdowns in a game since Jeremy Langford at Michigan State, for Michigan State specifically. And then it was the most yards in a game since Le'Veon Bell. So it was a pretty high stat game, incredible game for him. It'll be interesting. I think my takeaway from that is I think it'll be his best game all season.
They have Youngstown coming up this week.
The thing is, Northwestern stayed in it a little bit, so he played the whole game. I think Youngstown's a team that they'll go up big quick, and he won't get as much touches.
That's fair. They'll save him for more meaningful games. So rapid fire picks for the turd pile of games. There's a bunch of turdy games this week. Illinois at Virginia. I got Virginia.
I also have Virginia.
All right. Youngstown State, MSU. I got MSU.
I got MSU.
Miami of Ohio, Minnesota. I got Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Indiana State in the Fightin' Larry Birds versus Northwestern. I got Northwestern.
I've got Northwestern.
All right. I have Purdue over UConn.
Yeah, UConn is terrible. I've got Purdue.
Ball State at Penn State.
I've got Penn State.
Me too.
Yeah,
I forgot to say. Buffalo at Nebraska. I actually struggled picking this one, and I'm going against my head, my heart, and my gut, and I'm picking Nebraska.
This is where we differ. This is the first one. I'm going with Buffalo with the upset. I don't even.
I like your pick.
Is it even an upset? Because Nebraska's terrible.
Oh man. Eastern Michigan over Wisconsin. I'm just joking. I have Wisconsin.
Yeah, I have Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Idaho at Indiana. Indiana.
Yep.
Howard at Maryland. I got Maryland.
Yeah, I've got Maryland.
So there might not be very much separation this week. Good thing I'm already up.
Yeah.
For the picks.
That's tough.
Rutgers at Syracuse. You love Shiano. I don't love Shiano. I don't think Rutgers is good. I don't think Syracuse is good. I picked Syracuse.
I think, well, okay, I love Shiano, but I mean, Rutgers they are not as talented as some of the teams in the Big Ten. So I don't think they'll be a good or great team. They're going to be better than they've been, but I don't think they'll be a good or great team. But I still have them against Syracuse.
Okay. Iowa State against Iowa, hosting Iowa Saturday at 4:30 on ABC. Like I said, Iowa had a big win. They did have 2 defensive touchdowns. Their quarterback play was not very good. This one hurts my heart a little because I want to pick Iowa, but I'm picking Iowa State. I think Brock Purdy is going to bounce back, have a big game, and they're going to beat Iowa. Their games are always weird, Iowa State.
Yeah.
But I think Iowa State probably by 7, whatever.
Okay. Well, I think Iowa's defense looked really good, in part because Indiana's offensive line is one of the worst in the Big Ten. But that still, I mean, still 2 pick sixes in one game, and they were all over Penix the whole game. I think Iowa State is one of the most hyped up teams this year because of how much talent they bring back, and Bryce Purdy and their running back is really good. But I like Iowa in this one to win. I got them by 7.
Dang. Michigan hosting Washington Saturday at 8 p.m. Washington had under 300 yards against the Grizz, against Montana. It gets even worse, though. 2.4 yards per carry, 4.9 yards per passing attempt, with a QBR of 8.5. I don't know how you bounce back from that. Even if Michigan's defense isn't improved from last year, surely they're better than Montana's defense.
Right.
That just blows my mind. I think Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins have a good game. I think McNamara doesn't throw a whole bunch, but looks very efficient again, despite not having Ronnie Bell. I think Dalen Baldwin steps up. I think the other young receivers step up. I think Michigan wins pretty easily.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious that Michigan is playing Washington after losing to Montana because it's really similar to Appalachian State because Michigan was ranked and lost to an FCS school. Washington was ranked, lost to an FCS school. And Washington is the only the 5th team ever to be ranked and lose to an FCS school. And all 4 previously went on to have winning records. And even Michigan, when they lost to App State, went on to win the Citrus Bowl against top 10 Florida against Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Tim Tebow.
You know who Michigan played the week after?
They played Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
And Dennis Dixon tore him up.
And
so they played a Pac-12 school.
They tore him up, yeah.
And got wrecked.
But, yeah. Michigan, they got smoked by Oregon. And then, so in that case, I like Michigan to win.
Yeah.
They'll win big.
Game of the week. The loser this time is going to drink a mystery drink concocted in front of both of us. Oregon at Ohio State Saturday at noon on Fox. So the loser loses, drinks the mystery drink. Also, we have these mugs here, some Scarlet and Maize mugs. What we're going to do is give a mug away to a viewer who submits the winning pick with the closest spread. So like if you say Ohio State by 45 and Ohio State wins by 44, but you're the closest one,
You win the free mug.
you get the free mug.
Yeah.
Zach, what's your pick for Oregon at Ohio State?
Okay, so Ohio State is actually this surprised me. I looked it up, and Ohio State's 9-0 all time in the series against Oregon, and Oregon really struggled against Fresno State. I mean, Ohio State didn't look great against Minnesota, but I think Minnesota's better than Fresno State, and obviously Ohio State's better than Fresno State. I don't think I got to talk about that. Oregon will also be playing at 9 a.m. for their local time, which is insane to me because that means you're warming up at 7 a.m. on your time because the game's at noon. And then Ohio State's offensive line, because Oregon's defense is really hyped up. They're supposed to be really good, but I mean they gave up a decent amount of points to Fresno State, which makes me think that they were a little overhyped. But Ohio State's offensive line gave up 0 sacks to Minnesota, had 1 tackle for loss, and they averaged 7.7 yards per carry. I think that carries Ohio State past Oregon. I've got them winning 48-17.
Okay. I tried to come up with some like statistics, some facts, whatever, and I really just came away with 2 questions. Is C.J. Stroud good? Is it first half C.J. Stroud, second half C.J. Stroud? Are his receivers going to be as open in the second, like they were in the second half? Is Oregon's defense better than Minnesota's defense? I think in my soul, I didn't want to look deeply into this game because I have Ohio State 42-24, and I'm sick of explaining how good Ohio State is. So I think Ohio State wins big. I do have a closer margin here. So basically, Zach's cheering for a big blowout.
Yep.
I'm cheering for a somewhat blowout, maybe close game.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you need is an Oregon win or a close game. How does that work? If Oregon wins,
Yeah.
do we just
If
fold?
Oregon wins, I win.
So you win?
Yeah.
That's kind of sucks.
Well, it's Price is Right rules, right? I just picked a dollar.
Yeah.
Tweet of the week. Zach, you're the one that started this out. So we'll put it up on the screen, but explain your...
Yeah. My tweet of the week is Georgia and Clemson, they both paid to get out of the games that they were originally playing. Clemson paid $1.1 million to get out of their game with Wyoming, and Georgia paid $1.8 million to get out of the game with San Jose State. The total cost of that is $2.9 million. And if you were wondering, they paid $223,077 for every point scored in that game.
Both those defenses are just so amazing, right? That's hilarious. My tweet of the week is from Maryland football, mainly because it comes from the official account. It's an altered cover for Drake's new album. Each pregnant woman is wearing a West Virginia helmet, and it says "Certified Loser Boys." I love the pettiness that is involved with this. I love when it comes from official accounts. So well done, Maryland. Well, maybe we should put up a poll, which was the better tweet.
Yeah.
But that was good.
Yeah. Well, now it's time for I lost.
Yeah.
Right? So I picked Indiana to beat Iowa, and Adam had Iowa winning, and so I lost our challenge for last week, and I have to eat all six.
Yeah.
All six.
All six.
Blazing wings from Buffalo Wild Wings.
I was cackling during that game. I was just
Oh, yeah.
laughing.
Well, I kept thinking the whole time, like, Penix is going to pull it together, and because that's what I said in our game, when we went over it. I said they're going to struggle early, and then they're going to come back.
Yeah.
And
They didn't.
They didn't come back. They did struggle early, and they struggled the whole game.
So I feel like maybe we should play the victors while you eat this.
No.
See how
For those on Spotify, it's already hot. So, like, growing up, like, hot things, I was a wuss about it all the time. But, like, the last few years, I've kind of, like, grown out of that. Like, I get the fire sauce at Taco Bell, like, every time. This is really hot.
I'm glad you have 6 of these to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Probably should eat them quick. Probably be the best way to do it, huh?
As you're eating these wings, maybe talk about some positive things you saw in the Michigan game.
Some positive. Honestly, I didn't watch a lot of the game because it was kind of boring. I watched the first few drives, then I took a nap, then I watched when McCarthy threw that touchdown pass, and I thought that was awesome. I do think that play was awesome. I think he's legit.
I'll let you be done if you snort one.
No, what? I did bring milk. Quality dairy. Local stuff.
Quality Dairy, if you want to give us our first sponsorship, we'll plug your milk every week.
This was a mistake.
Speaking of Quality Dairy, Zach, some people prefer their cider from a cider mill. Some people prefer it elsewhere. My wife prefers her apple cider from Quality Dairy. What about you?
I don't care.
I'm glad you have more.
I love apple cider.
So Quality Dairy, it's fall time. If you want to be our first sponsor, we'll plug that apple cider every week.
Mm-hmm.
Plug the milk, plug the cider, plug the donuts. It's gonna be funny when you lose again this week, and I just get some of that sauce and put it in the mystery drink.
Whew.
It looks like your eyes are sweating.
They are crying. They are crying.
Oh, this is good. All right, so if you had to guess right now how long J.J. McCarthy is not the starter at Michigan, let's add that. What week do you think J.J. McCarthy starts if he starts this week or this year?
I'd have to look at their schedule. But
Like, do you think it's after how many losses do you think he gets his first start?
like 2 or 3.
I think it's fair. I don't think he starts this year unless McNamara gets hurt. I changed my mind. McNamara is going to be stable unless he gets hurt.
Normally, I
I think it would take like 4 losses for them to give up, and I predicted them to go 9-3. So
yeah. Normally, I'd like lick my fingers after eating wings, but no thanks. You want to lick them?
no, touch your eyes. I'll give you $5 if you touch your eyes.
No. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe or follow us on wherever you get your podcasts. We have an Instagram account, we have a Facebook account, we have a Twitter. Whew. Thanks for joining us. Join us next week. I'm literally crying right now. Have a good one. Thank you.
Get your cider at Quality Dairy.